Well, good evening, everyone. I am going to call this meeting to order. This is the August 9th, 2023 meeting of the City of Pasco Hearing Examiner. My name is Andy Kottkamp, and I've been appointed by the City of Pasco to serve as a land use hearing examiner. My job is to render decisions on various applications that are authorized to come before me, which include major subdivisions, preliminary plat approvals, and rezone applications. Now, I consider any testimony presented at today's hearing, as well as all the written materials on file, in order to make my decision. The hearing process does have certain rules, but I'll try to conduct the meeting in a relaxed and informal manner. We still have a procedure we're going to use. First of all, staff will present their report and make whatever recommendations that they wish to make. Next, the applicant or the applicant's representative is given an opportunity to present their testimony and evidence. The applicant does have the burden of proof to show compliance with all the applicable rules and regulations. If somebody from the public is here, I'll certainly give them that chance to testify as well. And if there is any testimony in opposition to the project, I'll give the applicant an opportunity to submit rebuttal testimony. If you are going to testify, I'll have you come up to that podium on your right side of the hearing room. I'll have you state your name and address, and then I'll swear you in as a witness and ask that you keep your testimony relevant to this application that we're talking about and not to other issues beyond the scope of that proposal. And if you have anything in writing that you want to submit today, you may do so. I have the option following this hearing to keep the record open if I think there's a need for additional written testimony to be submitted, but my written decision will be made within 10 working days after I close the public record. Let's see here, except as provided by the Pasco Municipal Code regarding requests for reconsideration, my decision, well, I guess there's two different types. My decision on the preliminary plat is a final decision. It is subject to appeal. And so if the appeal would be by means of a land use petition action, and that has to be filed within 21 days of the date of the issuance of the decision. Now, for the two rezones, I do not make final decisions. I make a recommendation to the Pasco City Council, and City Council will make the final decision, which is subject to an appeal. So my decision on the rezones is not subject to an appeal. I've reviewed all the items on today's agenda. I don't have any interest in any of the properties or the proposals to be heard today. I will be able to fairly and objectively consider each item. And then outside of receiving and reviewing for each item, the staff report, all those attachments to the staff report, which generally included all the agency comments and the application materials. There's noticing documents, other comments, public comments on some items that have come through. Other than receiving and reviewing essentially the entire planning staff file, I've not had any communication regarding any of the items that are on tonight's agenda. So with those representations, if you do have an objection to me serving as a hearing examiner for any of these three items, you need to come forward and state so at this time. Okay, not seeing anybody coming up. I'm going to turn to the first item on today's agenda. As I indicated, this one is for a preliminary plat approval. This is given application number PP 2023-002. This is an application to subdivide approximately 2.17 acres into 15 residential lots. This relates to property located within the city of Pasco that is more specifically described in the staff report as well as in the application materials. And for the record, I will admit into the record at this time by this reference, the staff report, all those application materials, the noticing documents, the comments that have come through, the site plan drawings. I'll admit all those items. Indeed, I'll admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference, and turn this matter, I believe, over to Mr. Adams for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Again, for the benefit of our viewing audience, this is a preliminary plat application PP 2023-002 for the Helena Street addition number 1. This is a 15-lot subdivision proposal. This proposal is located on Block 5 of Washington Addition to Pasco, parcel 113-881-024, located along the south side of East Helena Street at the intersection of Sprague Avenue, as you can see on the map, the site map here. Parcel zoned R1. The site contains approximately 2.17 acres. Applicant wishes to subdivide this into 15 lot a 15 lot subdivision. For the benefit of our audience, the public notice was mailed out and published in the Tri-City Herald on July 24th, 2023. This site is vacant. The site's comprehensive plan designation is for low-density residential development, which specifies residential development of 3 to 6 dwelling units per acre. The developer is proposing approximately 4.2 dwelling units per acre, and the minimum lot area in the R1 zone for single-family residential dwellings is 7,200 square feet. Lots range from 7,204 to 11,263 square feet, with an average of 8,396 square feet. The proposed subdivision is in conformance with the R1 zoning requirements of the site. The interconnection of neighborhood streets is necessary for utility connections, meaning looping of utilities, and the provision of emergency services. Per the ITE trip generation manual, the proposed subdivision, when fully developed, will generate approximately 87.15 trips per day. Plat improvements within the City of Pasco are required to comply with City of Pasco May 2022 standard drawings and specifications as approved by the city engineer and the Pasco Municipal Code. Plat improvements include but are not limited to water, sewer, irrigation lines, streets, street lights, and stormwater retention. This site lies within the Pasco landfill groundwater protection area, and as such, any domestic water wells on the property must be decommissioned, and all future water use on the property must be sourced from the City of Pasco. Those are the highlights of our report.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Adams. I have reviewed everything several times, and I do not have any questions for you. We'll turn this matter over to the applicant now. Is the applicant ready to proceed? Good evening, sir. I'll have you come on up and state your name and address for me.
My name is John Shaline. I'm with B4 Development and Consulting, 3130 Varney Lane, Pasco.
All right, how do you spell your last name, sir?
SCHELINE.
All right, sir, I'll have you raise your right hand for me real quick. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you. I always ask a few preliminary questions. First of all, you're here as an agent authorized to appear and speak on behalf of the applicant and property owner, is that correct?
Yes, we operate as an owner's representative for the Brochi family.
All right. Have you had a chance to review the staff report?
We did, and we agree with their findings.
All right. Have you had a chance to look at the proposed conditions of approval?
We did, and we agree with all of them. We do understand it does talk about Spokane Street between Butte and Helena, and we're not opposed to that simply because we are also representing them on the plat to the west, and eventually we will need to build that road out anyways.
Okay. All right. So with those questions answered now, what would you like to tell me about this project, sir?
The Brochi family has owned this for a little while, and we are building a multifamily unit to the south. They're building this they would like to build this 15 unit subdivision up here and one to the west. They have a history of building great communities here in the Tri-Cities, and they want to continue to do that. The Brochi family is the people that were behind the entire Tierra Vita project that is just to the east of that, which includes a community center, a park, cafe, and many other things, and they just want to continue building community here in East Pasco.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for coming in. Like I said, I reviewed everything. I think I understand this project fairly well. Just for the record, is there any member of the public here that wishes to provide testimony?
Don't see anybody.
Nobody's moving. So is there anything further from staff?
No, sir.
All right, then what I'm going to do now is I will close the public record portion of the hearing on this matter, and I'll have a written decision made within the next 10 working days. Today's Wednesday. If not by the end of this week, I'll certainly try to get it out by early next week. Okay, we will turn to the next item on today's agenda. And I need to minimize my screen because I can't get down to it. Okay, so this is the rezone application, given out application number Z 2023-005. This is an application to rezone property within the city of Pasco that is more specifically described in the staff report from commercial 1 to residential 3. I will admit into the record at this time by this reference, not only the staff report, but all those application materials and the noticing documents and any comments that have come through and the maps and drawings. I'll admit all those items. Indeed, I will admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference. And once again, turn this matter over to Mr. Adams for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Again, for the benefit of our viewing audience, this is rezone Z 2023-005, Glacier Park rezone from C1 retail business to R3, which is medium density residential. This lot is, or this group of parcels actually is located north of and adjacent to the intersection of Burns Road in Ochoco Lane, generally located in and around parcels 114-330-053 and 114-330-054. There's a small bit of another parcel from the north between those two parcels. The parcels are zone C1 retail business, and the site contains approximately 12.8 acres. Of that, 10.2 acres would be rezoned. Applicant wishes to amend the zoning as follows, and I'll bring up a site map here that shows. So as you can see, 80% of the site, which is about 10.2 acres, would be rezoned from C1 to R3. That's the orange, and it's marked with an R3. And then 20% of the site, or 2.6 acres, which is in the pink, would retain the C1 zoning. Again, for the benefit of the public, notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the property and posted in the Tri-City Herald on July 24th, 2023. The site is vacant. It was annexed into the city in 2022 as part of the Olverding annexation. The site was assigned C1 in conjunction with that annexation. The city's comprehensive plan land use map designated the site commercial at the time of annexation. However, on April 7th, 2023, Council approved Ordinance 4652, which changed the comprehensive plan land use map from commercial to mixed residential and commercial. And that allows for R1 through R4, C1, office, and mixed use zoning. The mixed use residential and commercial comprehensive plan land use map designation may be developed with a combination of single family dwellings, patio homes, townhouses, apartments, and condominiums at a density of 5 to 29 dwelling units per acre, and neighborhood shopping and specialty centers, business parks, service, and office uses. According to the applicant, submittal of a preliminary plat will immediately follow approval of the zone change request. And also per the applicant, development of the site would follow as quickly as engineering, design, and construction processes can be completed with the city. And so those are the highlights of this report.
All right, well, thank you very much, Mr. Adams. Is the applicant present? Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Can I have your name and address for the record, please?
Yep, Peter Harpster, Harpster, with Octera Engineering, and address is 2815 St. Andrews Loop, Suite C in Pasco.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Could you raise your right hand for me real quick? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
All right. And as I asked the last gentleman, you're here as an agent authorized to appear and speak on behalf of the property owners. Is that correct?
I am.
And have you had a chance to review the staff report?
Yep, I have.
And do you have any disagreement with any of the representations set forth in the staff report?
There's not really a disagreement. There's one word that I wanted to bring attention to, if I could. On page 2, which is 29 of the whole staff report, it says the proposed amendment would provide a mix of duplex, townhome, small detached, single-family lots, etc. And I think could would maybe be a better word. It does allow for those, but I just don't want anybody to get confused that is what future plans are. Like I said, maybe nothing needs to be changed, just a note.
Okay. Nope, I understand. Then this is not a project application for sure.
Correct.
But it's so you're talking about the third paragraph under request.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah, where it says the proposed amendment would provide. Again, I'm just kind of getting technical here, but the proposed amendment could provide it, would maybe make us a little more comfortable.
All right. Words are important. All right. So with my questions answered, then what else would you like to tell me about your request?
I could go through the items of criteria found in the PMC. I think if you read the application materials, as you mentioned, then that's unnecessary. Our application does meet all 7 of those. And this particular site we've been working on for well over a year. As Mr. Adams mentioned, first on a comprehensive plan amendment application that was recently approved, which brings us here today to this rezone application. It's worth noting the surrounding zoning, as Mr. Adams mentioned in the staff report, is R3, R1, and RS40. And so this definitely fits in really well, the R3. We did retain, as you saw in one of the maps, a small section on the eastern part of these 2 parcels for commercial. And that was based on informal discussions that we've had with Director Gonzalez and some other staff members, just kind of floating ideas around about what staff would support. We want to make sure we submit an application that staff would support, and they indicated that something like this R3 with a little bit of leftover C1 would be something that staff would support. And as you may be aware, the Pasco is building a 3rd high school next door, and so we're retaining that small square for commercial, and the plan for that would be something to serve the high school and then future residents of this area in the future. And then as far as determining whether or not the proposal is in accordance with goals and policies of the comprehensive plan, there are 9 different policies contained within the comprehensive plan that this application helps meet or achieve. And then also worth noting that there's several, number 3, merit and value in the proposal for the community. There are, once again, several goals and policies of City Council that this application helps to meet. And so the last 2 notes, whether conditions should be imposed and whether a concomitant agreement should be entered into, we certainly agree with staff summary that this isn't the time for it, being that it's a non-project action. And so we have nothing to argue, and just ask that you consider a recommendation of approval in line with staff's recommendation of approval.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in today. Was there any member of the public here on this matter? And I see nobody, so is there anything further from staff?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Harpster, what I'm going to do is I will close the public record portion of this hearing, and I will have a written recommendation to city council made within the next 10 working days and hopefully well before that. The final matter on today's agenda is also another rezone application, given application number Z2023-006, and this is a request to rezone some property located within the city of Pasco from C3 to R1. Once again, as I indicated, this relates to property located within the city of Pasco. I will admit into the record that staff report, all the attachments to the staff report, which included all those application materials, all the noticing documents, comments that have come through, public and agency. We'll admit all those items. Indeed, we'll admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference. And once again, turn this matter over to Mr. Adams for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Again, for the benefit of our viewing audience, this is a rezone application, project number Z 2023-006. This is the Helena Street addition number 2, and that's distinguishing between the Helena Street addition number 1 that we've worked with before that was actually a preliminary plat. This is a rezone from C1 or C3, which is general commercial, to R1, which is low density residential. This site is located in, actually it comprises all of Block 7, Washington addition to Pasco, together with all vacated streets and alleys in parcel 113-883-022. It's located along the south side of East Helena Street and approximately 1 block east of Heritage Boulevard. The parcel is zone C3, as I've mentioned before, and it contains approximately 3.2 acres. Applicant wishes to rezone Block 7 from C3, which again is general business, to R1, low density residential. Again, for the benefit of the public, notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the property and posted in the Tri-City Herald on July 24th, 2023. The underlying land use code has recently been amended to mixed residential commercial, and that mixed residential commercial land use designation specifies 5 to 29 dwelling units per acre. The R1 zoning would require a minimum lot area of 7,200 square feet per lot and allows a density of up to 4 dwelling units per lot with a maximum lot coverage of 40%. The subdivision has the potential to generate up to approximately 136.8 new trips per day. The site was originally platted into Pasco in 1913 as part of the Washington addition to Pasco, and at that time rights of way were dedicated in conjunction with the plat, and they were 25-foot wide lots and 80-foot wide street rights of way, as well as 14-foot wide north-south alleys and 20-foot wide east-west alleys. The site was de-annexed in 1921 and then re-annexed in 1994 and assigned RT, which is residential transition zoning, during the annexation. In 2011, Missoula and Butte Streets, along with all internal alleys, as well as 10 feet of right-of-way along East Helena Street and Spokane Street, were vacated. And in 2016, the comprehensive plan amendment changed the land use designation for the site from low density residential to commercial. In 2018, the site was rezoned from RT to C3 in conjunction with that comprehensive plan amendment with a concomitant agreement and conditions. The concomitant agreement and conditions included a 6-foot tall architectural block buffer wall and 10 feet of landscaping between all residential zoning districts and all C3 uses. The concomitant agreement and conditions prohibited certain commercial uses within 300 feet of any residential district, including car washes, wineries, dance halls and nightclubs, trucking, express and storage yards, heavy machinery and sales and service, warehouse, landscape gardening storage areas for equipment and materials, automobile sales and service, mobile home and trailer sales and service, lumber sales, business and contractors, plant or storage yards. The concomitant agreement and conditions specify that all uses permitted as conditional uses under PMC 25.46.040 are prohibited. A proposed rezone ordinance to R1 would render the concomitant agreement moot upon rezoning to a residential use. And a proposed rezone ordinance would contain language nullifying the concomitant agreement. On April 17th, the City Council approved Ordinance 4660, changing the comp plan land use designation of the site from commercial to mixed residential and commercial. As mentioned before, the mixed residential and commercial designation allows for R1 through R4 zoning, C1, office, and mixed use. And development may be a combination of mixed use residential and commercial in the same development, including single-family dwellings, patio homes, townhouses, apartments, and condominiums at a density of 5 to 29 residential dwelling units per acre, as well as neighborhood shopping and specialty centers, business parks, service, and office uses. The current rezone effort is in anticipation of a 14-lot low-density residential subdivision. As with the previous Helena addition discussion, the site is located within the Pasco landfill groundwater protection area. And again, any domestic water wells on the property must be decommissioned in accordance with the WAC. And all future water uses on the property, domestic and landscaping, must be sourced from the city. And so those are the highlights of this report.
Thank you very much. I certainly appreciate your staff report and the explanation of the concomitant agreement from the previous zoning of the property. So that was very helpful. Is the applicant ready to proceed? Well, hello again. For the record, can you just state your name?
Sorry about that. John Scheline, Scheline.
All right, sir, you are still under oath, so I'm going to ask you those questions I asked you before. You're here as an agent authorized to appear and speak on behalf of that applicant and property owner today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And have you had a chance to review the staff report? And if so, do you agree with the representation set forth therein?
We have, and we do agree with the staff report.
All right, thank you very much. Now, what else would you like to tell me about this rezone request?
Again, this is owned by the Brochi family. They also own the property just to the south, which is also commercial. We went through the process with the comprehensive plan amendment recently because the property to the west, which is the cul-de-sac, needed to have a proper zoning placed on it. And so that's what triggered the comprehensive plan amendment anyways. And then we wanted to build a single family property just like it is to the west if possible. So they have pursued this and would like to make this happen. And again, we're building the multifamily to the southeast and hopefully that 15-unit subdivision to the east. So we're hoping to build a lot around this area.
All right, thank you very much. It's a fairly straightforward request. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I don't think it was mentioned, but we have already applied with our SEPA and a preliminary plat. So as soon as this rezone has been approved, then that should be ready to go immediately.
All right. Okay, well, we'll hopefully deal with that at some later point here.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Turn this matter over to the public. I don't see anybody from the public there that would wish to speak. So we'll go back to staff. Is there anything further from staff?
No, sir.
All right. Then what we're going to do is, once again, I'm going to close the public record portion of this hearing. I will have a written recommended decision to City Council made within the next 10 working days. There are no other items that are on today's agenda. So I'm going to now adjourn this August 9th, 2023 meeting of the Pasco Hearing Examiner. Thank you all very much for coming. This meeting is now adjourned.